Erstwhile IIT JEE or present JEE Advanced is one of the most well managed exam conducted in this country with top class questions being asked year after year. There is no doubt about it. There is hardly any other exam in the country, or maybe there are only few in the entire world, which can stand parallel to this JEE Advanced exam. Over last few years, there have been consistent noise about some errors in JEE Advanced question papers. I think that maintaining the quality of questions and maintaining the secrecy are dual challenges which IITs face. And maintaining the quality while maintaining the secrecy of the entire question paper becomes really, really difficult. How that can be solved? I have no answer to that. And I trust IITs, they will definitely find a suitable way of addressing this issue. But in this video, I am going to focus on few simple changes which can be made in JEE Advanced exam to make the experience of the students a bit better. These are my suggestions, and I assume that these will be heard by the public as well as the JEE authority, and if they find it to be reasonably good, they may try to adopt this. Though I also acknowledge that they must be knowing these things also, but still I will reiterate for them. The first is consistency. We need to be consistent in terms of language, in terms of number of questions asked as well. Consistent in terms of language, what does it mean? Hey JEE Advanced, hey IITs, when you say a ball is rolling and you don't use the phrase rolling without sliding, we as a students get suspicious that okay, it is rolling, which means it might be sliding also. If I get a question in JEE main exam or NEET exam which says a ball is rolling, they are quite consistent. It more or less it means that it is rolling without sliding, but so is not the case with you. In most of the questions that we have asked till date, when you say rolling without sliding, we take it as pure rolling, perfect rolling. But when you just say rolling, we assume that there could be sliding also. So when you say that a surface is smooth, okay, we take it as smooth. But when you don't write whether it is smooth or rough, we take it with a pinch of salt. We are ready to think that the surface could be rough. So that kind of consistency should be observed every year in your question papers. Also some anomalies. Like this, a question from 2020 JEE Advanced question paper. A current is flowing through this conductor, and you have written that a voltage, a transverse voltage develops between these 2 points because of purely kinetic effect of moving electrons. We all know that drift speed of electrons in a conductor is very small, but because of that small drift speed, there will be separation of charges. Because of the kinetic effect, that means with respect to conductor, there will be a centrifugal force acting on the electrons, and that will basically be responsible for creating separation of charges, and there will be a potential difference. So you want us to consider even that minute or very small effect if it is required. But here, this year, in this particular question, a charged sphere is rotating about an axis, and you forgot to mention that the angular speed is small enough for charges to remain uniform on the surface of the sphere. A student who has solved this question keeps it in mind that the kinetic effect should be taken into account. So in this question, if we take into account the kinetic effect, then the question really becomes very cumbersome and it becomes difficult to solve. So you should have maintained that consistency. You should have written there that assume that omega is small enough for charges to stay on surface and remain uniformly distributed. You missed on that. So had it been a question in JEE main or NEET exam, nobody would have cared, because they have maintained consistency in that. you have to take care of simplest possible case. Here also, students, I advise you to take care of simplest possible possibility whenever you are in confusion inside an exam hall. Again, in this question, this year only you have asked this question, and you have assumed that a 20% error is really very small, which does not match with what you have been doing till date. So please remain consistent. You can, whoever sets question paper, whoever writes question, you can have a set of guidelines for all of them to maintain the consistency of JEE Advanced language, so that a student is not confused, what does this mean, what does that mean. Ultimately, your target is to pick the intelligent students, not the most trained ones. That is what I have been hearing from IITs since a long time. So you always target to pick, choose, filter smart ones rather than well-trained ones. So don't confuse those smart students, isn't it? In this question also, you asked this year only. In the first part of the question, you have written that efficiency of Carnot engine operating with a hot reservoir. You have written that it is a Carnot engine. And the heat pump, you have forgotten to mention that it is also working on an ideal cycle. So, had it been a question asked in any other ordinary exam, okay, it was fine. But what I am trying to say is, what I am trying to emphasize is, hey, you are IITs, you cannot do that. And it is easy to correct. Such things are easy to correct. I will give you another example. This is 2016 question paper. You said that the electrostatic energy of Z protons uniformly distributed throughout a spherical nucleus of radius r is given by this. E is proportional to ZZ minus 1. Then in 2022 you asked a question and you said that let the binding energy of a proton be this and binding energy of a neutron be this, then what is difference between binding energy of a proton and a neutron? This question escaped the attention of everyone. I made a video on this 2 years back. I will give the link in the description box. If I could remember it correctly, you awarded marks for picking A as correct option. Might be others are also correct, but if somebody marked A as correct, you gave marks. Here, you made an error. This is binding energy of a proton minus binding energy of a neutron. You taught us that binding energy of the entire nucleus, the effect of electrostatic repulsion among protons, has this much contribution in binding energy of the entire nucleus. So what is contribution made by repulsion experienced by one proton? It has to be divided by Z. So for one proton, it will be proportional to Z minus 1 only. A detailed video, I will give it in the link. So you forgot that thing, that you taught us this, and then you forgot after a few years. And then again this year you have asked the same thing, and this time correctly. You have gone back to 2016. You have given answer as C, which means R matches with 2. So E is proportional to Z minus 1, electrostatic part of nuclear binding energy. Yes, this is the same thing that you asked in 2016, but you made a mistake in 2022 and nobody noticed it. There is no official answer key available on your website as on date. So nobody can verify whether option A was treated as correct or not. Many YouTube videos do exist till date which give wrong solution to that question. Marking scheme, yes, you can make a little bit of correction here if possible, though it is very subjective and it is difficult to assess, but still an effort can be made towards this. This year question paper, this question, if I did it correctly, I would have got 3 marks. 3 marks. If I haven't memorized the answer to this question, if I do not remember the answer to this question, if I am not familiar with this question, and this is what you want students to see new questions, right? So how much working this will require? Take a note of that. if I did it correctly, I'll get 3 marks. And this question, if I did it correctly, I'll get 4 marks. So again, it is subjective. People can fight with me. Who are you to decide whether it is of 3 marks or 4 marks? But I think that there is anomaly, and there cannot be any justification for such anomaly. It has to be corrected. A question which is tougher, which requires more working, it consumes more time, should be of higher marks. It is as simple as that. Why be inconsistent in such things? So maybe with little bit of effort, if not all, but such situations can be avoided more or less in most of the cases. And please, hey IITs, please give answer key to question paper of each and every year that is present in your archive. 2015, 16, 17, I think answer keys are there. But 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 answer keys are not there. 24 answer keys are not there. Why? If possible, give the solutions also. Let we people learn. Let the students learn. Why don't you give solutions to all the questions, erstwhile questions? If their solutions are not available, they can be made right now. And they should be uploaded on the website. It will be a good resource for the students, isn't it? And students will know when IIT writes this language, what does it mean actually? Of course, you are not trying to select someone who makes a guess. You are trying to select someone who is well versed, is quite knowledgeable on the syllabus prescribed on physics, chemistry and mathematics, and at the same time he or she is intelligent. That's all you want, isn't it? So why hide anything? Let them know that this is the question and this statement means this. And please give us a more detailed syllabus. The syllabus that is available right now, it has small anomalies I have seen, like you have mentioned forced oscillation in the topic of rigid body dynamics. After forced oscillation, you have written simple harmonic motion. So those things should be corrected in fact, and more importantly, you have to make it more detailed. Tell us clearly what is included in the syllabus and what is not there in the syllabus. With a little bit of effort, this can be done. You need to tell us whether this falls under ambit of JEE Advanced syllabus or it is outside of it. This should be made very clear. Otherwise, you want that students should study on their own. They should focus on schooling. They should not attend lot of coaching classes. So that all will be possible if you come clean and if you make things clearer. If you clarify the syllabus, if you give the detailed syllabus, yes, this is what we are going to ask, this is not what we are going to ask. A student will exactly know what he or she has to study. What's wrong in that? So these are few points I wanted to make, and I request all my viewers to share this video with as many people as possible. I want this to reach the authorities, and I assume that some corrective actions will be taken. Thank you. Goodbye.